You may now talk.
Okay. So I haven't gotten far enough in it to really like give it a solid like what I feel like it should be overall. But Prime 4, I'm around a 7.5, 8 right now.
Okay. Does that
I've
make
not
you
gotten to
happy?
um yeah, yes, I think so. The
Okay.
fact that I
All
had to
right.
think about it, it probably doesn't bode well necessarily, but um no, I mean it plays good, it feels good.
Right.
Um they changed some stuff with the aiming, which is a little interesting that I'm still getting used to. Um, but I had my first escort mission thing, and I'm like dreading that part of it because that's like one of the worst things in gaming, like entirely.
Mm.
But I don't know if it's because it wasn't particularly hard or I've been playing Prime games for years. I never had an issue with dude dying. And he was not as intrusive as I thought he was going to be. Now it's very apparent that there's going to be dudes in every single area, so who
Mm.
knows? I only just got to the second area and I don't have the bike yet, so I'm still very early on. But
I see.
it's a solid okay so far. It's a solid okay so far. Honestly, I was only ever expecting just to get to more Metroid out of it. So far I'm not disappointed.
Well, that's good, I guess. I got to be honest, from a Metroid fan who's been waiting for this game for like 10 years to give it a 7.5, I feel like you're a little bit disappointed.
I
I feel like there's just a small amount of disappointment in there, if I might say so myself.
I don't know. I don't know as if it's necessarily disappointment because I tried to temper my expectations as much as humanly possible because it was in development hell. And because I know personally I have such high hopes for it. I'm trying to make it as objective as humanly possible.
Right.
Um, but I don't know. I don't necessarily feel like because they did a lot of what they're doing in 4 and 3, like trying to make there be a narrative storyline. I mean, all Metroid games have ever been, really, for the most part, is Samus reacting to things that are occurring on her main objective.
Okay.
Um, but this, you know what this feels like. Actually,
What?
you know what I might be conflating it. It feels very Halo 4.
Okay. Okay.
It feels very Halo 4 in
Okay.
how it looks, even some of like how it plays in like the cinematic firefight areas, um, and the whole "you are the chosen one" quest line that's happening.
Right.
Almost shot for shot from Halo 4. Honestly, entire race is gone, and you are the only one who can carry the legacy on.
Well, I hope
So
that gets better. Because Halo 4, I pretty, if I recall correctly, I absolutely despised that game.
I think you did,
If
yes.
I
I think
remember
you
that, I
absolutely
did
did.
nothing but bitch about that game through the
Yes,
entire making of
I
that.
do remember that. I mean, at the end of the day, like so far, I'm not disappointed.
Well,
Let's
that's
put
good.
it that way. But I mean, I'm only, I want to say maybe an hour and a half in. So, meh.
Okay. All right. All right.
Time to get your fix. It's a horrible gaming podcast. It's not good, it's not great. Horrible gaming podcast. It's not even what you would call fair. It's really not that good. Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Hello, my name is Zachariah with Old Man Gaming. You, dear listener, for whatever reason, have decided to listen to another horrible gaming podcast. I'm not alone. Usually I'm never alone. With me is...
Nail aka Tiny Wizard.
Say it again, because you got all digitalized.
Neil, aka A Tiny Wizard.
Yay. Okay, so, guys, gals, before we get into the usual stuff, this is obviously a pre-recorded episode. It is our final pre-recorded episode of 2025. Here's how this is going to go. When you are listening to this, the Horrible Game Awards have already aired. Our prediction show has already aired, and both of those have aired without any fan traction whatsoever. We are going to do fan traction on this show, but the fan traction we are going to do is for the episode that we didn't do before. Okay, so the fan traction you're going to hear here, I believe, is for like 286 or something like that. Not the Horrible Game Awards, nor the prediction show. The fan traction for those shows, and this one, will be dealt with when we come back in the new year. But I don't want to get too far behind on the fan traction, so we're going to do some fan traction here. That being said, I hope you guys all have a happy new year. We're going to do our year in review show. We're going to look at 2025. We're going to try and make the decision as to whether we enjoyed it, whether we didn't. It's a very mixed bag for me, but we will get into that. But before we do, we have to thank the people who make this show possible. We have, of course, above our ugly mugs, a custom graphic provided by Mr. Mark Bell. We thank him for that. And then, of course, the theme song for this show and all the shows here at Old Man Gaming is provided by the man who makes music, my brother, Nick Van Sliders. We thank him for that. We shall return with fan interaction.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our first segment, our most important segment, fan interaction. So again, just to remind you guys, I know I just talked about this, but we are doing fan interaction this time for the episode, and a couple of comments that were late from William Hoen, but not for Horrible Awards, not for the prediction show. Those are pre-recorded already as well, but they have not aired yet while we are recording this. We are actually recording this on the, what is it? It's the 7th? We are recording this on the 7th. Yeah. So just so you guys know, this will be like one of the last shows this year. So like, we're recording this on the 7th. That's how far we'll be on. So we are going to do a fan traction for those shows. Now, speaking of that, William Hoen actually finally did post on those ones where he hadn't talked. So I want to go back and read them because he is such a good fan. So all the way back on this episode, which I do not remember what episode this is. I wish I would tell you what episode it was in the comments section, so I don't have to like go back and forth. But he posted, "Hi, exclamation point. I know I'm late. Remember last year when we thought Xbox would kill PlayStation? It's funny, isn't it? Thanks for the show. Hashtag I'm late." What the hell were we talking about on that one? Because I don't know if he's agreeing with us or disagreeing with us with that comment, you know?
I cannot remember.
Complicated? No, it wasn't complicated. Pride and Extreme Prejudice. The hell were we talking about in that episode, man? I have no idea what we were talking about. Let's go to edit. My description is only sigh. I just wrote sigh, and so I had no idea what we were I'm sure it was Xbox, PlayStation, all that bullshit. It's gotta be. Yeah.
Yeah, that was from weeks ago. I literally can't remember. Yeah, you did that to yourself though with sigh.
Yeah, I did do that to myself. I have no idea why that didn't what that was. Yeah, so but yeah, so well, you either agreed with us or disagreed with us, and more power to you. I am sorry we did not get to read this comment earlier to know what the fuck we were talking about back then to even respond to. But yeah, that's the situation we're in. So then this episode is from the complicated one. Hi, exclamation point. Neil, I'm glad you put quote when you said own your games. But still, I get what you mean. Getting games on sale is way better value than subscription services. Hi, exclamation point. Why did he put two highs in? High! Exclamation point. Getting in, gaming in itself has been gamified with all the profiles, trophies, achievements, game time, etc. There's definitely pros and cons, but overall, I don't think it's better than it was. Thanks for the show. Hashtag gaming has evolved. That's interesting. Those are interesting. I think, yeah, you definitely don't own your games. I'm not even saying you do, but it's definitely way more value to quote unquote purchase them digitally than the subscription service now. I like I said, I would argue that 2 years ago, but like now Xbox Game Pass has raised their price so much that it's way more worth it to do it this way. And we talked about too that like gaming is different. It requires a lot of your time, and when you're playing games, you're playing one game for long periods of time, each sitting. Like that's what you come home and you play. So having a Game Pass subscription service doesn't really make sense. And I know a lot of people argue with me on that, or argue with us on that, but when you really think about it, really take the time to think about what you're playing in a month. Like I'm going to tell you right now, you're playing 1, 2, maybe 3 games. Is that worth $30? Like every month? It's not. It really isn't when you think about it, especially since they can be taken off your thing at any time. You can't use them anymore. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. It's just not worth it to me.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of why I started doing it. What I was doing with my Game Pass is I'd really only sign up for it when I was actively playing something, and then I would just cancel it whenever I wasn't using it for anything.
Right. And as far as the gamifying with the trophies and stuff, I don't hate that part. I really don't. I like achievements. It definitely gives me a little serotonin pop when I see them go off. I don't necessarily feel the need to collect all of them. That's for sure. But I will say when I do collect them all in a game, I am extremely proud of it. So like, I don't hate that. But I agree with everything else. I think that like, now we're living in kind of like social media has been around for a long time, and everything kind of like turned into that in a little way. And it's not really better. Like social media tends to make things a little bit worse and sometimes a little bit more toxic, if you're asking me. And, the trophies and the profile pics and the status updates and all that, it does get rather frustrating on that level. And I agree that I don't necessarily think that part of it makes gaming better in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, not necessarily. I mean, I think that sort of stuff speaks to a specific type of gamer, but as a whole, I don't think people really get all into that. Yeah,
I agree. All right, so now we are on to the final, the actual one that we did before, which was the Steam Machine one, which was the last one we did, if I recall correctly, was the Steam Machine stuff. So let's get into that. William Holuin, hi, exclamation point. Yeah, I've been busy and didn't had the time to listen to the last 2 shows. But now it's done, and I've put up my comments, smiley face, and we have now read them. 2 months later, but we've read them. Depending on the pricing, I really feel the new Steam console is made for people like me. I'm super interested by this thing, I'm not gonna lie. NPC in Metroid Prime 4 be like, hey, listen.
Kind of. Kind of.
Thanks for the show, hashtag I'm up to date. So, yes, and this is what we've been talking about quite a bit. I think we even talked about it a little bit on our prediction show. I think that, like, I personally believe the Steam Machine, and really this comes down to what they decide to set the price as, which we still even now don't know. Well, we might now know by the time this comes out, but we don't know by December 7th. we won't know until the pricing. The pricing really will dictate who this is for. But I think this is for you. I think this is for people like you. I think that's what they're attempting to do. And I think that they're basically saying, hey, PC gaming for a person who does not want to deal with PC gaming. And you fit that bill. I think that there are a lot of people that fit that bill, and that's why the pricing has to be extremely competitive. But if it is extremely competitive, it will be a hit. So yeah, I don't know. Neil and Philbilly, which you already know because because it was on the prediction show, so it's not a spoiler, but you already know, do not agree with me. And they have good points to the contrary as well. So we'll have to see what comes of the Steam machine. But it is an interesting light in the gaming world right now.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, if by some miraculous miracle this thing comes out and is like $700, like, I mean, even myself, who has a gaming PC and a Steam Deck and all the consoles, would potentially even consider getting one. But like you said, the pricing is really going to dictate who this is going to be for. I mean, the folks who are the hardcore gamers who have their PCs already know how to build a PC. But that's the thing is,
right,
that's what it's all going to come down to, is in the end, you have to price it like it's for somebody else if you're trying to get to that point. But I think as time goes on, I don't know, that price just keeps going up in my mind.
I think, here's the thing. I think if the price is high and they are aiming it at hardcore gamers such as myself, they've made a terrible mistake, because I'm not going to drop $800 for a system that I can't work on. I'm just not going to do it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Not in this day and age when my computer that's 5 years old still plays everything. You know what I mean? Like we've already reached the singularity. I don't necessarily need to upgrade my hardware that much, so I don't need that for that reason. I think that, like, if that's their target audience, they've made a terrible mistake. But if their target audience is people like William Hohen, is people who aren't PC gamers, who are on the fence about PC gaming, who don't want to worry about upgrading their system and all that fun PC stuff, then it has to be a lower price to be competitive. And it is the right decision. So we'll have to see. It's very interesting. So then we have Jason saying something that I don't quite understand. He says, was the price more or less outrageous than Gem? I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means?
Gem. No.
Jem. Gem.
Jem?
Yeah, like the old rock band. The cartoon rock band.
I got nothing.
I'm sorry, Jason. We do not understand this, and that is only because of our own stupidity. But educate us.
Was it the Jaguar? Is he thinking about the Jaguar?
The Jaguar Entertainment? The Jaguar was ridiculous. I remember that because I wanted a Jaguar when I was younger. I was like, I gotta have a Jaguar, and then they were like, it's like $1 million. I was like, never mind.
Yeah, that I think was before my time.
It was.
Yeah. What did the Jaguar go for though? What was that price?
Oh, it was high, but you got to remember it was the 90s. So like,
I was gonna say, yeah,
it was selling for something like $500-$600 or something in the 90s. Like, we're talking like 2000s prices for this. Yeah, it was insane.
I was gonna say,
I don't specifically remember what it was, but I know it was outrageous because I remember, because I was very into gaming when I was younger too, and I remember like that was the one that I was like, I gotta have that. I wanted that Alien versus Predator game that they had so bad. Like, it was the first Alien versus Predator game, and you got to play as the Marine, the Predator, or the Alien, like, in the game, and it was a first-person shooter. Like, I wanted that game so bad. Like, I wanted a Jaguar, and then the price was there, and it was like, no. there's no way I'm ever going to afford it. There's no way my parents are going to afford it. Like, I'm never going to have that system. And then it failed, so it didn't matter. But Jaguar, like, in my head was like next generation gaming when it was advertised. So, but I remember that the price was just fucking insane. Like, fucking insane. If that's what he's talking about.
That was right before the bubble.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's Fantraction. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do our year-end review show. We will take a quick break and be back with that.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, as is our way, we completely forgot the format for this kind of an episode. So what we're doing this year is we're going to do a good, the bad, and the ugly, because I love a Western theme.
Neil's gonna up real bad there.
Yeah, so did you right afterwards. So
great.
So yeah, good stuff. Good. I mean, goes with the territory. So we are going to do a good, a bad each, and then an ugly each, and then we'll each give our overall opinion of what the year was to us, whether we liked it, whether we didn't like it, that sort of thing. So. Neil, what's your good?
You know what? I think my good is gonna be. We got something like Clair Obscur this year. You know, it's more than just the fact that it's a wonderful game. I mean, all aspects of it. These guys were working on this thing forever. From there, it was just. Taking a genre, reinventing a genre. They had a smaller-ish team. The one who did the music, composed the music, is just a person off of SoundCloud. I mean, they are just like passion project to the max with that. So much so that they've gotten all of their nominations for like Game of the Year and all these categories, and they're even like, hey, like. This game is not supposed to be this big. This is not supposed to be this important. And I feel like that's really, I think that's really the biggest story, because a AA sort of game effectively made its way up to the top to be like one of the greatest things to come out of gaming in a minute.
It was our experience of the year.
Yeah.
Contrary to what I like. You know what? I have alluded to this for the last 2 pre-recorded episodes. Oh, kid's here. Give me a hug. Come on. I'm recording. I'm in show. Love you. Tell everybody Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Tell everybody Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, go to bed. I love you.
What?
What?
Why did you want me to do that?
Because this is our last show of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pre-record the last 3 episodes. We always do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
All of you watching. I don't know how much is gonna watch. Okay, who cares? And
all right, I love you. Go to bed.
Happy.
This is your legacy to inherit.
No, don't say
she
that.
Knows not.
She asked me already whenever she could take over. She's 9. She wants to take over. I'm waiting for the knife in my bag. All right, go to bed. I love you. All right, so I'm going to get into it. The rant for Clair Obscur, okay? First of all, I want to say this. One of the reasons I have been so tight-lipped about Clair Obscur and my distaste for it is because of everything you just said. I think it's truly a passion project. It's hardly even a AA studio that has made a AAA quality game and been nominated for all these awards and managed to make it work, which I truly respect that, right? But at the same time, I very much thought about this game, right? Like, everybody said I should play this game because of the turn-based stuff. And I almost did play this game because of the turn-based stuff. I just kind of missed it. However, one thing that I've always said about watching the trailers is, that doesn't look like it makes any fucking sense. And then when I went back and watched all of this the footage that I have to watch to try and find performances, the performance videos and the musical videos, this feels like Kojima to me, man. It feels like the most pretend. It
Really?
feels like Time Rain, and it just drove me nuts. Not only that, the dialogue I found extremely pretentious, and long-winded, and just bandstandy monologues. And again, I am looking for that sort of performance stuff, but I wanted anything else to win. Anything else to win. When I saw that the Game Awards had nominated it for fucking everything in a year that I would argue is a banger, and I will argue soon for AA games. This thing just got nominated everywhere, and I know obviously the Game Awards haven't happened yet when we're doing this, and we didn't do a Game Award show this year because of stuff. But I know it's just gonna fucking win everything. It's gonna sweep all the things, and
I was gonna say it's probably gonna sweep.
which
That's my prediction. It's gonna sweep.
there are games that should be on their list that aren't on there. Absalom has no nominations at the Game Awards.
Yeah,
That is fucking travesty. I think that and I'm not just saying that because I'm a gamer. I'm saying that because that is a game that should be nominated, period. I think that there are other games too that deserve to be to win some awards, and that they're trying to make that like a Baldur's Gate 3, and to me it just looks like fucking Death Stranding. And I can't get on board with it, and it hurts because everybody around me is like, this game is so amazing, and I'm just I'm the guy who's just rocking in a corner, it looks so angry to me. But rant out of the way, I do want to say yes, that it is great, and if you don't mind me segueing right into my good, is AA studios have had a banger year where AAA studios continue to fail and continue to lose and continue to fire people. AA studios come with banger after banger after banger, and just let me say this too. I have very rarely had years where everything on my wish list that comes out that I purchase is great. Everything on my wish list that comes out that I've purchased has been fucking great. And I'm not just talking about Absalom. There have been fucking sweet ass games coming out this year. Bloodgrounds was fucking amazing. I'm failing to come up with exact examples because of course I need them right now, but I think the AA scene has just kicked the shit out of everything, personally. To the point where we'll get to it later, but there's a lot of negative stuff to think about this year, but the positive is the fact that there are a bunch of fucking great games out.
Yeah, it's kind of like you were talking about there. AAA has been floundering quite a bit lately. Even the stuff that's been coming out, it always hits really hard, really quick, and then it just kind of fizzles out with the player count and everything moving forward. You look at all these AA, single A, indie games that have been coming out, they have a bit more staying power and they get a little bit more noise behind them. Now, to be fair, at least this year, how much of that has been due to the fact that Grand Theft Auto got delayed to next year, which is its own separate thing. But
Right.
I don't know. I feel like overall the failures of AAA have just shown the spotlight even more on the indie scene, and the tables are kind of starting to turn a little bit, to where people are starting to favor things like that. You're your Call of Duties and everything now are on a regular decline when it comes to their player counts and sales numbers and everything like that.
Yeah.
And you only hear more and more about people going over to the indie side of things. I mean, hell, the fact that Steam Deck has been such a success and they're making the Steam machine again is even indicative of that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely something that they want to see. I think that just gaming right now, and it's a cycle, you know, like the AAA is going to fold, the AA becomes a AAA, and then eventually somewhere down the line they do the same stupid shit, and there's a bunch of AA's that'll take their place. But like the AA studios have just been like banger after banger, like nonstop hits in my opinion. So yeah, this has been interesting first two goods. I am sorry that I was so negative on your good. I didn't want to
it's
be
fine.
that. It's just like I have hinted at not happiness about that game for like 2 episodes. I just wanted to explain it to everybody since you brought it up. So what's your bad, man?
I don't know. I feel like this year, when it comes to gaming, the very first thing that people think of anymore is it just cost. Everything associated with gaming, like they've held fast as long as they have. To be fair, they probably should have raised prices a little bit, maybe years ago, but they never did that. And now it's like they're trying to make up for that lost ground to where these constant price increases for, Game Pass. They basically started the death of Game Pass right there by cutting the price up on that. Consoles going up in price, and not even have pricing announced for some things, and frankly, some of the costs for some of the things that are out there are just outrageous to begin with. Obviously, some of that comes with a political twinge to it, which we won't get into that part of it. But it's they're just trying to get more and more and more and more out of people when it comes to like the costs and everything like that. I don't know. It's just dominated. I feel like dominated a lot of the conversation about game.
So let me go ahead and kind of add on to that too. This isn't my bad or anything, but I would actually argue a little bit with you on the fact that they needed to raise prices even previous years. Because you look at, like, again, to the AA, they're selling games for $26, $30, and they're doing just fine. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, like, we're at a level where, yes, those big companies are just stacking cost. And there is a political aspect to it, obviously. I'm not going to go into it, but all these rich fucking assholes just ride the coattails of that, and they see other people jacking prices up, they think they can get away with it too. That's just the facts, And it is getting absolutely ridiculous, especially for the AAA stuff. The AAA stuff and the pricing is just nuts. And again, I don't think I paid full price for a game this year. Weirdly enough. I don't think I did. I bought plenty of games because I was actually working, but I don't think I actually have paid full price for a game this year.
I think I bought two.
Okay.
2 full price games. But one of them was they're actually a juxtaposition of each other. One was Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4. That was $25.
Okay, but here's the thing. I should reiterate what I'm saying. I didn't pay $70 for a game this year. Not full price. Yeah, I never played $70 for it. I did play full price for games. I paid full price for Absalom, and I paid well, not really, because Steam has this 10% off launch thing that they do literally on every game that launches. You get like 10% off if you buy it in the first 2 weeks. But that being said, I paid full price for Absalom. I paid full price for Cosmic Invasion, but they were $26 and $30.
Oh yeah. Like that's the that was what I was about to say. Is the juxtaposition of what I got. The amount of time that I put into Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4 for $25 is going to be pretty close to the amount of time that I'm going to put into Metroid Prime 4 for $70.
Yep.
So, that, and granted, yes, they're apples and oranges. They're supposed to provide different experiences.
Yeah.
Taking that out of the equation, though, it's a $1 per hour of entertainment when you look at it through that lens.
I mean, I'm at 48 hours into Absalom right now. and I paid $30 for it. So like, you know what I mean? Like at that point, I'm paying like 75 cents an hour. Like that's kind of sweet when you look at it. But that's the indie stuff, the AAA guys. And again, I think this is one of the reasons that they're failing. You know what I mean? It's just overbloat, and they try to make up for that overbloat with overpricing. You know, my bad is going to be Game Pass. Game Pass, when it first came out, was one of the greatest values in gaming ever. It was $9. You could play their entire list. And like when you do the math on that, a new game for $9, even if you're only getting 2 of them a month, that's pretty sweet. All of the games would come out through Xbox, and now we have raised the price over the course of what, like 10 years, to the point where it's $30 for Game Pass, and it's also got all these weird segments on it, all these weird caveats to it, all these yes ands or yes buts, and it's just terrible. Game Pass has become terrible. It has become a parody of itself. The other thing that Game Pass has done that's so terrible is they became so big so fast that they kept all other streaming platforms that were trying to do the same thing from being successful in any way, shape, or form. If the game wasn't on Game Pass, you fucked off. Well, now Game Pass is too expensive, and these other streaming services don't work, which really has killed, or is going to kill, the idea of Game Pass in the future, or a streaming video game service in the future, in this way, because of that. I think that their price hikes on Game Pass have just been absolutely nightmarish.
Yeah, I think that if they were going to raise it to that point, I mean, I can't imagine they're going to raise it again relatively soon here, because that would be absolutely just asinine. You know, I feel like for what you were paying at one point in time, there was obviously a point where that it was worth it. But then when you go up, you know, an extra $10 and then like 2 years from that, another $10, I mean, it's the same thing that's going on any like video streaming service. You get in at a low price for your subscription because it's early days, and then eventually you get your critical mass on the platform to where your numbers for subscribers are barely fluctuating. Well, you have to bring in more money, so you do the price increases. Fine, but you got to do it more like what like Netflix and everything does, to where it's only like $3, you know, $3 across, like $3 a year across maybe the 3 years. Sure, we might grumble a little bit about it, but you know, going up $9 in 3 years kind of tracks. This thing went from, like you were talking about, $10 to $30, just like that, effectively.
I think, look, Xbox has always stayed very tight to the chest on the numbers that they're making, money-wise, right? But yeah. I think with the amount of time that they were at, you know, $12, I think they were making plenty of money. I don't think that was a problem. But again, I think they were short-sighted on how people consume gaming versus how they consume things like movies and TV. We've talked about this many times. A movie can be consumed in 90 minutes. A TV show can be consumed in 12 hours. A video game requires, what, 50 to 200? Like, those kind of things keep you busy. You cannot charge a ton of money because people literally don't have the time to get through them to make that cost worth it. And you say something like $30 for all of these games, but it's $30 every month. And I'm going to tell you right now, I can take that $30 to Steam, I can purchase a game, and it's in my shit forever. And I don't have to worry about that, you know? At the same time, should I decide not to pay $30 on a game because I'm not feeling gaming right now, then I save $30. You don't get that choice with Game Pass. If you're not playing games, you're still paying $30. And I think that the cost of value for gaming is just different from other forms of entertainment. And yeah, so that's my bad. What's your ugly? And my ugly is ugly.
My ugly is definitely got to be AI in gaming. Yeah,
That's
AI
a good
in
one,
gaming
man. I
is-
wasn't expecting that one. I thought you were gonna go with layoffs.
You know what? Honestly, the reason AI in gaming is even worse is it's going to lead to layoffs too in the end. All companies nowadays are thinking that AI is a gravy train that's just going to just be, infinite output with very minimal input. We've seen a bunch of different developers now getting in trouble for putting AI stuff in their games, like AAA games and everything. I mean, there was the whole AI label debacle that was on Steam games, which I guess they've eventually acquiesced now and have removed the label. I think that that's BS. They should have that label on there. It's going to take away from the work that other people have already done with other games and everything too. I don't know. It's even. I mean, hell, it's even destroying the physical side of gaming too, because now we're basically back in another chip shortage because they're eating up all the chips for all these different like the AI whatever they're called, the hubs or whatever. It's a bad problem that's truthfully going to get worse for a while, I think.
You know what really sucks about it too is and don't give me hate, guys. I'm just pointing this out. AI in gaming could be awesome. It could be absolutely awesome. But and you and I, if you go back, you and I, when we first started hearing about this AI in gaming, we're excited about it. We were both like, this is awesome. And why were we like, this is awesome? Because yeah, you could give every character in Skyrim independent kind of almost interaction and thought. That's fucking amazing. I can go have an actual conversation. No more everybody talks about their wounded knees sort of crap. Like every character is a character. That's amazing. Can't wait for the days where that's implemented. What it has turned into, though, is instead of utilizing it, and again, it's just AAA trying to make money. Instead of it being utilized to make a better player experience, it's being utilized to take jobs away and to try and do things that it shouldn't be doing, like writing games and, you know what I mean, like creating the games itself.
Yep.
And I gotta be honest, I've played Where Winds Meet. Where Winds Meet, every NPC that isn't a story NPC is a chatbot, is an AI chatbot. I've interacted with those chatbots. It's not as great as we thought it was going to be. I could say that. They make weird references that no one in 8th century China would have made at the time. Like one guy called himself, he was a fisherman that I was talking to, and he was like, everybody calls me Gil Bates because I fish so much. And I'm just sitting here
Gil
like...
Bates?
You're making a Bill Gates reference in 8th century China? I will say there was a couple of interactions with him because I had to test that for my review. There was a couple of interactions that were interesting, but at the same time, there's also players out there who are figuring out how to talk the AI chatbots into just letting them complete quests without actually doing anything because they're AI chatbots. So, like, there is a lot of stuff, like it was a really cool prospect when it was first shown to us. Because when it was shown to us first, it was only the positives that we could see, Yep. Because we were positive people. Shame on us for thinking that it would be a positive influence in any way, shape, or form. Instead, we're using it to write subpar story. We're using it to write subpar lines. We're using it to do subpar voice acting. We're using it to do subpar stuff so that we don't have to pay people as much. What the fuck, man? Could you imagine AI coupled with the Nemesis system? Like, put together? Like... just for player forward interactivity, that'd be fucking amazing. But instead, we're going to use it to like try to build the game. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, you see where I'm going with this? Like,
oh yeah.
It's just like we can't have nice things. Like we get offered nice things and then we can't have them,
Yeah, they're nice things, but then they actively get turned bad. That's the problem.
Yes. They get turned against us so fast. And I feel like other innovations in gaming at least were player forward in the beginning, whereas this never got a chance to be that.
No.
Like it was immediately like, how do I make voice actors make sex noises for mods that they shouldn't be in? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so my ugly is Saudi Arabia. Look, I hate Saudi Arabia. We've talked about this on the channel. I don't love to get political with this, but they're a terrible nation that, are tyrants to their people, while trying to project this like cultural center of the world sort of appearance, and they use their untold wealth from oil to purchase their way into American shit. Now they're in gaming. They are 100% the reason that EA has become a private company, which, wow. So basically they own all digital representations, or the predominant amount of digital representations of American sports. Sweet, guys. Way to be patriots there. And in addition to that, they're probably the primary reason why BioWare is going to close. And then, I mean, like, they just keep buying into stuff. It's definitely the reason I'm not playing 4 Strike, which looks like a fucking amazing beat-em-up cool fighting game, but it's with Devolver, and they own part of Devolver. They are all over the fucking place. And yes, I have some hatred for them because they have literally decided to buy and pay for the WWE, which makes half of my wrestling choice not possible to watch. And that's not for this. This is a video game show, so I've already got some rage there. But yeah, it's just super fucking annoying and frustrating. And yeah, I don't like this. I don't like this like hostile takeover of our industry. In a bid to make themselves look good and to sweep atrocities under the rug, you know? They funded people who attacked us. I don't know why we keep forgetting that.
Yeah, I mean, overall, looking at the gaming side of things with that, it's definitely, like you said, they're
like
probably
I said,
gonna
mine's
shut
ugly.
down. Yeah, it's yeah,
It's hard
yeah,
to talk
it
about.
definitely-
It's so ugly.
yeah. Like you said, it's probably going to be the reason the BioWare is going to end up getting shut down. I feel like, I don't know. Anytime any influential group makes a purchase of like an IP, a company, and you know, anything like that, it always makes me wonder in the end, like, how is that going to be like, then that entity is then attached to that in some form or fashion, and that's going to affect how you look at things.
Yeah.
And the fact that EA was just straight up snatched up out of the sands, like, it does kind of feel like when Microsoft has made their purchases almost. It just is like, well, this can't be good, and that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very frustrating. So let's get into our closing. What do you think? Like, what was 25 to you? Good, bad? What do you think? Good, bad, or ugly?
25, I would say is good. I would say overall it wound up being pretty good for me. Because this was a year that I wasn't expecting much out of, and I was more than pleasantly surprised with the stuff that came out this year and the stuff that I have since like discovered, starting to get more into like games on Steam and everything like that. It was pretty good. I enjoyed everything that I played this year, even though I enjoyed Doom Dark Ages less than I thought I would. But everything else was just super duper good.
Okay. All right. My decree is ugly. And here's why my decree is ugly. Because it's not bad. Because, like I said, Absalom is going to be one of my top 5 games of all time for the rest of my life, probably. Like, that game is transcendent to me. I've said it repeatedly. I love that game. And that came out this year. And that was not the only sweet, cool game to come out this year. Quite a few have that I got into, that I got very involved in. Grounded 2. what else? There's a bunch of others. South of Midnight. There's tons of AA games that I got into that I truly enjoyed, and the gaming side of things in that AA was great. But I can't say it's good because I do this show and I run this channel with you. And that means that like I have to look at more than just, are the games good? And unfortunately, that's the ugly, is that 2025 is this juxtaposition, this absolute battle between good AA games really making marks in the industry and keeping it alive, and all the fucking bullshit over here. The Game Pass price hike, the ridiculous things, price hikes of all the other games, all the stupid GTA shit. Obviously my ugly, Saudi Arabia buying EA, like the studio closes, like all of that stuff. I cannot like not put that in there. And while this game has been amazing for this year has been amazing for just pure gaming, at the same time, I have had the least amount of motivation to do this show because I don't want to talk about the sad, crazy, evil shit going on. The Switch 2 came out this year, and we all know how mad I am about that. Like, I think that like it's got to be ugly because it's just this twisted war. It's not bad. It's not like the bad stuff completely overrated, but it's not good because there's so much bad stuff in it. So it's just when I look at it, it's just an ugly mess that I'm trying to take joy out of while other things stab at me. And it's got to be ugly for me.
You know what's funny is
Happy New Year.
I said good, you said ugly, and my very first thought of somewhere up there, Kev, he's excited.
That's right. Kev Too Tall was always positive. Rest in peace, my friend. Rest in peace, channel friend. He would definitely be. Oh, because we fight. I didn't even catch the reference right there. Because we were going to argue. He would have been really excited about this episode because I think we argued on most of our points.
I think so. Yeah, pretty close too.
Oh, Kev Too Tall, we miss you, buddy. So, I think that's it. I think that's our year in review. I am looking forward to 2026. I have a lot of things that I'm excited for. So yeah, we'll have to see. So we're going to take a quick break. Neil has a couple of news stories we're going to finish out. This is all going to be extremely old by the time you guys see this. So just, that is what it is. But it'll be our final news of the year. So we'll take a quick break and come back with that.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our final segment of 2025, or possibly our first segment of 2026. I'm not exactly sure when this is going to air. That being said, Neil collects news stories from the news, and he reads them out. He's got a couple of news stories left to do.
News.
Yes, that we riff about, we want to tell you guys about. So he's going to take it away. Again, remember, this was recorded on the 7th. This is our last show of the year. So we're doing this, but they're all going to be out of date by the time that you guys watch
they're
this.
already out of date because this
Zang.
was last updated November 22nd at 4:02 p.m.
Nice. Nice.
So, yeah, some of that, and then a little bit of we've actually already covered. So one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting, though, there were fans of Concord, did not know that there were those out there. Fans of Concord actually went and got a server set up so that they could continue to run the game. Wow, sounds great. That's wonderful. And then Sony said, take it down or we'll sue you. I don't get it, man. Like, you guys pulled the plug. They've already purchased the game. What is a server matter at that point? Because honestly, it's either going to fizzle out and not be your problem anyways, and that's just going to be that, or the just demand for this thing is completely overwhelming, surprisingly, as time goes on. And then you might be incentivized to open the servers back up and start selling your fucking game again. I just don't understand why in situations like this, they're just like, absolutely not. Nobody can do anything. It's a fancy coaster for you now.
Well, and this is something that I think is a hot button issue that's only going to get worse as we continue to go further and further into games as service, and more of them are going to start closing down. I mean, we had already a suit, a class action lawsuit against Ubisoft for the Crew shutting down. I think that this is going to start getting people in. I mean, we had Steam changed their language to the point where you can't say that like you own the game or you're buying the game, that you're buying the license or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that like this is a hot button issue. What I think would truly make this less bad is exactly what you said. If you're going to close down the game, fine. If there's a fan out there who wants to get it up, bad choice of words, who wants to put it up and keep it going, let them. It does not hurt you, and it preserves the game for future generations. I think that like one of the things about gaming that I hate is that I have a daughter who's 9. She's started to get into gaming. She obviously doesn't play all the games I play. But, like, let's take Skull and Bones. I know it's not a game that you hold in high regard, and probably most of our listeners do not hold it in high regard. I have put a lot of hours into that game. I enjoy that game. I think there's a lot of evil bullshit in that game. I'm not saying there isn't. That being said, it does still bring me back. I think the combat's great. It's fun for me. There is a part of that game that is all about making and selling heroin. I cannot play that with my daughter. She is 9. I am not going to actively play a video game where the object is to spread heroin to people. I'm just not going to do that. That being said, when she turns, 16 or 18 and she's responsible enough to understand that, you don't do that or it's not going to corrupt her in any way, I would love to share this game with her. I'm not going to be able to do that. That game isn't going to be around in 6 years. I think that like you look at a lot of these games as service, like hell, Anthem. Anthem is a game I'd love to share with her. Anthem doesn't exist. It's gone. It's gone forever. Annals of Time, gone. Why is it so bad when people want to keep it around when you don't want it anymore? And I think honestly, if I was to beseech lawmakers in any way, I mean, I wouldn't beseech any of the lawmakers currently in there because they're all idiots. Sorry, guys. In fairness, I'd call anybody in there idiots because I don't like laws. That being said, though, if I was to beseech the lawmakers about how to fix the game preservation problem, I would say make it a law that if a company puts a game out, then pulls the plug on it, that it becomes public domain. That's what I do. I'd be like, hey, they're not doing anything with it. It's public domain. Boom. And then I think that would fix a lot of things because the games that people really wanted to be around, somebody would find a way to make that game be around, And yeah. I think that, like, we talked about it a bunch when you were following that one failure, that Babylon's Fall.
Yeah.
There's at least 3 people out there who that's their game. That's their favorite game that they love, and they were waiting for it forever, and it was everything they wanted it to be. They can't play it anymore. They got, a posh 9 months with the fucking thing, and it's gone now? Even. Yeah, like that kind of thing is infuriating. It's infuriating. And I'm going to say this, as a player, and a player of those games, I am very leery to jump into those games now. And those games need player base in the beginning, but I definitely hang back because I don't want to have the best experience ever only for that game to be shut down in 5 months. So I think that there is something to be said about it is ridiculous that you still have control over a game when you've decided to put it in the trash.
Yeah, it's definitely something I don't know. I think we got accustomed to when we had physical media with cartridges and discs and everything like that, at least early days of discs. where you couldn't like update them or anything like that. I think that trained us to believe that these things were always going to be around forever. And as things become more and more digital, it's almost feels like things are actively being taken away from us to prevent us from having the things that we had or have. It's just, our digital era now. You can reach in and do software updates and everything, but the opposite's also true. They can come and take the stuff away. And if you're going to put all that time, money, and effort into a game, especially a game like that, and have like in-game microtransactions and everything like that, I think it's only fair that there's a way for that game to continue functioning after you pull the cord.
And what bothers me too is intellectual property is one of the only things that you own that you have to actively defend. You have to send out cease and desist, and you have to go after it. It's one of the things we talked about a lot with Nintendo suing everybody and their fucking mother, And, I even had Melissa on one show when it was just me and her, and we talked about it because she's a little bit more into the law community. That being said, though, Nintendo, as much as I hate what they do, Nintendo uses their intellectual property. I don't understand how, and I don't understand why anybody hasn't made the law debate that you're not defending an intellectual property if you do nothing with it. If an intellectual property is just sitting in a can somewhere, in a bin somewhere, not being used, how are you defending it? How does it not give other people the right to do it? That's bullshit. You know what I mean? I feel like that in itself is failing to defend your intellectual property. You canned the game. You can't be mad at people for wanting to play the game, and finding a way to play it. And I don't think that, I don't think you can sue them for that. In my opinion, I think that you have already forfeited your rights to it in a lot of ways.
No laws, as you say.
Well, I don't want no laws. I'm just saying I'm usually not a fan of them.
Some laws. Some laws.
Yeah. Don't worry, everybody. I don't want anarchy out there. I'm not a crazy person.
So I'm actually just going to combine these last two here because they're related, and we've already kind of talked about them a little bit here too, at least cost in gaming. Microsoft actually might end up being forced to raise prices on their Xbox Series line because of the skyrocketing RAM prices. Apparently, it's rumored to be another $50 increase. On top of that,
nobody's buying them already.
Nobody's buying them already. You want to make sure you don't buy one. And then from there, I mean, we already talked a lot about the Steam Deck and its pricing, but there's a YouTuber, Linus Sebastian. He does the Linus Tech Tips channel. Actually went to Valve and asked them directly about the pricing. And they basically said that it was not going to be competitive to consoles. It will be competitive to a pre-built gaming PC. But his question was met with active disgust, apparently. Yeah, I mean, this is just screaming to me. Like I said, my prediction was $8.99. I think it was for that Steam machine. I could see it, man. I wouldn't be surprised for $1,000.
Again, I said, when me and Phil were talking about it, you guys' points are valid points. I'm not necessarily saying you guys I'm not calling you guys crazy. I'm just saying it's a bad decision if that's what they decide to do. Right. Also, while the whole not being competitive with that whole statement doesn't make sense to me, because right now I feel like pre-built PCs are competitive with consoles. I have a buddy who just bought a pre-built PC for $500 and it's more powerful than mine. So meanwhile, you've got the series whatever that you just talked about, which is about to be what, $800 fucking dollars. Yes, RAM is going up and it's jacking the price of everything up, but I still feel like Like right now, PCs are competitive with the fucking consoles. So I don't understand how it could be competitive with the PCs, but not competitive with the consoles. That's a very confusing statement to me.
I see what you're saying with that. For sure.
Yeah. Like I'm not trying to like defend myself or anything, but I think that that's very confusing messaging because we've talked about it on the show. Our PCs currently are competitive with consoles. I can go out and build my exact specs PC, my exact specs right now. And remember, this is all relatively outdated materials, but still, it works and it plays all the games that come out. I can buy my PC and put it together for less than buying a console, the cheapest console out there. Except maybe the Switch. You know? No, the Switch is more expensive. Like, I could, well, with the exception of the RAM. RAM's gone fucking batshit crazy. But other than that, I could go out and build a PC for less than all the consoles on the market right now. So I'm very confused as to that messaging, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that definitely does. That is a good point when it comes to the cost now, you know, pre-built PCs comparatively next to a console.
It's not that, it's pretty 1-to-1. I mean, definitely there are ones that are more expensive. I'm just saying that, like, if you're trying to get something that plays the games now, you can get it for as much or less as a console. Is very confusing. Sorry, I interrupted you again. Continue.
No, I mean, that was basically it. I mean, the cost of everything with gaming just keeps going up. I mean, I think the Microsoft thing is hilarious because, like you said, like nobody's even buying these fucking things anyways. It's to the point. It's to the point that they are doing a full pivot basically to service instead of actual like a console manufacturer. And you know, they're like, yeah, you know what we should do to drive sales? Let's just make it cost even more. I would love to meet that person who walks into the store after this goes up another $50 to buy a Series X. I would just love to know why. Like, at this point.
Does he need one for his Beamer? Like, I don't understand, like, what these people are thinking. Like, they're so out of touch. Like, these are luxury items. They're luxury items. They're recreational luxury items. I am not going to... No one is going to buy a console over eating. It's just not going to happen. You know, like the idea that they're doing this and they think that they're going to make money when... Not even political. Our country is in a fucking nightmare economy right now. What do you think you're gonna do? Like, it's nuts to me. It's nuts.
Yeah,
right.
It's
yeah. You can move on. I'm just gonna keep ranting about the same.
No, I
shit.
mean that was basically it. I mean, like I said, I combined the last two together.
Okay.
There was actually an update because I believe we talked about the Trade Anything promotion. That was going on.
I have to talk to you about that because I found out why they're doing it.
Oh, you found out why?
Well, I have a theory about why, and the theory comes from something Melissa found that somebody posted. Yeah.
Tell me more.
It's a tax scheme.
Interesting.
So when you donate things,
$5, yeah.
When you donate things, you get vouchers for your taxes. Like that's a balance. Yeah. It's why you get like Goodwill's a ripoff, but still, like if you take your shit to Goodwill, you get a tax voucher that you can then use to write off on your taxes to lower your taxes. Well, the Trade Anything thing is they're going to take all this stuff. They're going to then donate all this stuff, and all of those donates are tax breaks that they can then use to continue to keep their stores open. Because my wife was watching. Because I told her about it, and she was like, "That's absolutely insane." I was like, "They're about to get 3 totes of baby clothes, seriously, that I haven't been able to offload." Like, but then she watched a TikTok guy who worked at GameStop and quit because he was like, this is insane. People were calling to people were bringing in guns. People were bringing in hazardous materials, like people bringing in drugs. Like there was all sorts of crazy stuff that people were calling that they were going to bring in. And he was like, this is literally putting us at risk to even be there. And he had finally said, this is a no to me. But he then said, but when I asked, what we were doing with all this stuff that we're giving trade-in values for, they said that most of it was going to be donated. And that's when he put it together, that like all of those donations are going to turn into tax credits that GameStop will then use to offset the fact that they don't make any money.
My thought was actually that they were going to do that so that way they could get all of the pre-orders and all of the sales that they possibly could, because they know Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be the best-selling game of the year. So they're putting all their eggs in that basket to try to make those sales dollars.
I mean, it could be the same thing too.
Stunt with $5 off the game.
That's possible. It could be the same thing too, that they're donating all those things to keep their company afloat till
hell, both could be true. Actually,
yeah, that's what I was saying. Like both could be true. Like they're not crazy. Yeah. So that's it then.
Yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to do one final plug of 2025, and then we're going to go to bed.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the show and the shameless self-promotion that comes with it. Neil, do you have anything to plug? Keep in mind, this episode does not come out until like 4 weeks from today.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually not going to plug anything because, this is the end of the year. This is when we go through and do the, thanks to everybody, the situation. The fact that we've been doing this as long as we have now.
I can't believe it.
It's the seventh annual Game Awards that we've done. So this has been going on for about 8 years at this point.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if we did the Game Awards the first year. I can't remember.
I mean, you weren't even in it the first year. So,
technically speaking, no.
It has been a very interesting ride.
It has been a very interesting ride.
I agree. I don't really want to plug anything either.
It's just thanks to everybody involved. Thanks to you as well, to Phil. Just doing this not every single week, and that's an okay thing that we're not doing it every single week. Yeah,
sanity needed to happen.
Most weeks.
Yeah. We're doing all right. We're doing all right.
Right. Most weeks I get to come on here and just have an outlet for all this, stuff that all of us here that listen to this and are involved with this enjoy. It's just a nice, wonderful outlet. It's a great time every single time doing this. And I love it. And thank you, everybody. Have a happy new year. And good luck in 26. We're all going to need it.
You know what? I'm going to echo my hetero life partner's words. I do think, one thing that's interesting is our view count has gone up since we started to randomly not do episodes. So I think maybe people were just getting too much of us. I think people were like, we need less of you two. Less of you two. That completely aside, yes, we thank everybody who turns us on and listens to us for any period of time. We are two middle-aged men who sit in our basements and whine about video games at the end of the day. And the fact that anybody finds what we say relevant or useful, I find to be a miracle, or even entertaining in that case. I will say this, though. Neil, buddy, when we met each other at Ruby Tuesday, well over 8 years ago, so many years ago, and we were like, we should start a podcast. And then I went and stole that idea and did it with somebody else for a number of years until eventually getting with you. You have been one of my best friends the entire time. So I truly, man, I just want to say thank you to you, because I don't know that I could have done a podcast as long and with as many episodes successfully with another person because I am hard to be around. So like it truly, man, thank you for doing this and actually being a part of this every fucking week and actually,
Well,
devoting your time to it, man. Seriously.
well, it's a great time, and thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Now that I've thoroughly embarrassed my co-host with my with my unusual show of loving and sport, I will tell you all out there,
In
thank
the
you.
spirit of us going to bed together. What's best is if you don't put that in an
I
in
got it.
between.
I gotta put it in
If you don't
somewhere,
put that
don't
in
I?
an in between or anything, then no one's gonna have any context, and they'll be like, "Oh wow,
Did they?
oh, okay,
What
Yeah,
happened?
okay."
Did they? What? I want to thank Philbilly 330, our other foundation. I want to thank Stella, my kid, for continuing to ask me when she can take over. I want to thank all the fans, William Hohen, Jason. Jesus Christ, William and Hohen and Jason, you guys have been with us for fucking ever, and I appreciate every comment that I get to read, even the ones I don't like. Asylum 66. I want to thank Kayla, your lovely wife Kayla, for the lasso stuff that we do, which is amazing, and all the role-playing game stuff we do. Want to thank Wizards Respite, who might as well be a foundation guy because now our channel is a half TTRPG channel thanks to him, and we have t-shirts thanks to him. I want to thank my wife for putting up with me for another fucking year. And if I didn't say your name, just know I love you. Thank you for finding anything we do entertaining or fun. And we will continue to do it in the next year because as long as you guys keep watching and listening, we'll keep making them. We'll see you guys next time. And then we're going to go to bed. Pause. I wonder if people think we go to bed together. Because I always say, then we're going to go to bed.
Yep, we're gonna go.
We're going to go spoon. Spoon. Our wives are going to look at us like, this is weird. This is a weird Sunday night thing that they do.
every single night.
Every single Sunday night, they go to bed and spoon together until the morning. All right, going in 3, 2, 1.